Hello, everybody. Welcome back to There's Always More podcast. This is your host, Nicole Today is episode 11, and I have titled this episode Stuck in the Dumps. Okay, that can mean something different for all of us, but personally, I feel and have felt stuck in the dumps in the sense of being very unmotivated in many aspects of my life, not just like in one single thing that I do, but I've noticed it kind of across the board. And I'm just going to share a few things that I did to get myself out of the dumps. And I just like to come on here and talk about what I'm really feeling because I like to share, and I know that I'm not the only one. And the circumstances that we're in right now as far as COVID and social distancing and doing all that fun stuff is partially it is a reason as to why I feel this way. So I feel like it's good to share, and I'm doing a lot better now. I feel getting back in the groove of things. I'm much more positive and I'm heading towards the right direction, but not to say that someone else isn't going through it. So without further ado, I want to talk about what I feel stuck in. Personally, I feel stuck in like my food relationship. I feel like I don't like to use the word slack off. I like to use the word enjoy myself because I'm not saying like I wasn't eating healthy. I do meal prep, I eat healthy, but on the weekends if I want to indulge a bit, I will. And I think that that's perfectly healthy to do that and allow yourself to do that. Personally, it is holding me back from reaching my ultimate goals. I have been able to maintain my weight, but the goal is to keep burning fat and put on some more muscle. So in order to do that though, however, I do need to become a little bit more strict as to, not indulging so much on the weekends, but I am going to go on a little mini vacation coming up. And so when I get back from that, I will be doing some more hardcore, not dieting, healthy living, and working on myself in a little bit more of like with some urgency put behind it so I can get to where I want to be. Not to say that, where I'm at right now, I'm perfectly fine. I'm happy. I'm loving myself. I'm enjoying myself. And that is also very important when it comes to this process. I was also stuck with like the gym. For me, I've gotten into this mindset of, like you need to go to the gym every single day, like no matter what, no days off, whatever. And I've learned like listen to your body. Okay. Like, yes, I think working out every single day, if you can do it, absolutely amazing. Go for it. However, listen to your body because your body can be telling you something. And if you don't listen, it could lead to injuries. You could be overworking yourself, which can then just cause more stress, which can then lead to stress eating, and the list just goes on. So I've been listening to my body recently. There's some days when I have really, really early days or I just have a lot going on and I have no motivation to go to the gym on some days. And some days, I'm not going to lie, I do make myself go to the gym. I'm like, no, like you're just making up excuses right now. But I know myself. I think it's important to know, you better than anybody else. So if you're making an excuse or not. And that doesn't just have to go for the gym. That can go for anything else in your life that you are trying to accomplish. You know yourself way better than me. And so know whether you're making an excuse or whether you're just trying to force yourself to do something that your body is telling you, hey, you know what? Let's slow down today. Take a mental health day. Take a break. It's not a bad thing to take a break. And I've also been feeling, this is like a really big one, school. Oh my Lord. School. I'm not saying that like I'm slacking. I'm just doing the bare minimum. That's terrible, but I can admit it and I know that I'm doing it. And at this point, guys, like I will be very honest. I am not a person that can sit behind a screen and learn as effectively as I could if I was in the classroom. I'm a very hands-on learner. Of course, everybody learns different, and I have a lot of friends that are absolutely loving the Zoom life. Now, I do love some classes online. Some of my classes that I'm finishing for like my undergrad general education ones, like I'm not particularly like super interested in them, so I don't mind staying home and being on Zoom. But like for the ones that I love, like all my kinesiology classes and like the classes that I'm going to need for my career to be successful, I'm really bummed out that I'm missing out on that a little bit. And my sciences, which I struggle in already, I just wish that I can be in person and like just I'm a better student when I'm in person, when I'm in the classroom, when I'm surrounded by people and I have interaction, and that's just how I am. So this whole Zoom thing has just really taken a toll on me because I've had to force myself to like learn differently, and it's really hard to teach yourself new study habits when the study habits that I already had weren't the best. They did get the job done. And I, have a great GPA and all that stuff, but I just feel like I'm having to work extra freaking hard just to get like the bare minimum done because I'm unmotivated. I sit in my room and I take study breaks. I have done that to like kind of help. I'll go to the living room, talk to my mom, or just do something else. Give yourself screen time, but limit that. Give yourself, I don't know, do something that you like to do. Read a book that you're into. Go play with your dog or something. I don't know. But it's just hard, like sitting in your room all day. My room doesn't have the best lighting, so I do open my windows just to bring like natural sunlight in and keep me a little bit more awake. But needless to say, it's not my favorite. I never thought I would say like, I miss going to school. Well, I do. I miss school. I miss people in general. And I just miss like the way that life used to be. I was just talking to my brother actually earlier, and he was like, just talking about COVID and all this stuff. And I was like, the reason why I think COVID hit us so much harder and like a lot of us are having a really hard time adjusting is because when is the last time that something this big really happened? Like, when did this world shut down this much? Like, it's not recent. So a lot of us, it's like our first time going through it. And of course, we're used to like our daily routines, and we're used to the fast-paced life that a lot of us live, and just being able to do whatever you want, when you want, how you want, with who you want, whatever the case may be. And so for me, it's just like all the things that I love to do involve like being with other people and going places, of course. And so like with that being on hold, it's just so hard because I just get like, I guess it could be a form of anxiety. Like I get like weird. Like I don't want to be stuck in my room. I don't want to be home. I want to be out, going on adventures, being with my friends, family, boyfriend, whatever the case may be. I like to be out doing things. I'm not a homebody whatsoever. Never have been one. And so this whole stay-at-home order is just like eating me up inside. Thank God I go to work. It's like my outing and coaching and all that stuff. But and so let's talk about what motivates me, because that was like the first question that I had to ask myself when I was looking into getting myself out of the dumps. So obviously like the main ones that motivate me would be my family, my boyfriend, my friends, and of course all of my aspirations. Like I really sat down and said, okay, Nicole, like I don't know, I always like to be the person that can motivate somebody else, and I haven't always had someone like that in my life. Like I have, of course, my family and stuff, but I like to be motivated by by something or someone. And so I finally figured out that I'm just going to have my aspirations motivate me. I'm going to have what I want ultimately for my life. That's going to be my motivation, like having a healthy relationship, having, the house that I want one day, having, the flexibility and the freedom to travel, and my job, and like having my passion, which is my podcast, and like other things that I'm just fitness and health and all that stuff. That is what motivates me. Pouring into my own cup is what motivates me. And so after narrowing down like what my aspirations are, what motivates me, it made it so much easier to then make a list of like, okay, Nicole, how are you going to get out of the dumps? Let's figure out, what do you need to do starting tomorrow or whenever you're going to start to get yourself out of this funk that you're in, because you're better than that, So the first one was, I tend, when I don't have anything to do, I'm like, oh, like I'll just sit in my room, watch Netflix and like chill. And then I get lazy because I'm not doing anything. So definitely making a routine was like life-changing for me in the past few weeks that I've like started to get my life back on track a little bit. If you follow me on Instagram, I always post like a boomerang in the morning, and I always make to-do lists. That to me, I don't know what it is about taking a highlighter or a pen and just putting a check mark next to the task that you completed literally makes me smile. Like that's what I love. So knowing that I love that, I'm like, okay, let's use that. So every day I wake up, put the date on top, I write to do, and then I start making all my bullet points, even if it's like work, which obviously I know I need to go to, but I'll put it down because I want to cross it off. And I make a to-do list, and I make sure, of course, like during the day, some obstacles might come up where you cannot complete your to-do list, and that is completely fine. But I stopped being so hard on myself about that, and I just started to like, okay, you know what? The things you did not complete, if they can be done tomorrow, those go on the top of your next to-do list. So I definitely recommend, if you are like really big into being organized and stuff, to-do lists are definitely my thing. I love, love, love doing those. And changing your mindset. I did start writing some affirmations in the morning, or just simply going online and reading affirmations that pertain to maybe your goals or motivations or what you're feeling that day. I 10 out of 10 recommend doing that. It just kind of, it's a good way to start your morning, and it just kind of gets you pumped up for whatever you have going on. And I also, some people like, I'm very 50-50 on this, okay? Some people say, stop looking at the finish line and focus on your journey, right? Like, don't focus so much on where you're going to end up. Focus on where you are now. Be present. 100% agree with that. But I also 100% agree with looking at the finish line, because to me, looking at the finish line is so motivational. Like, if I can see that I'm almost to my goal, it only makes me want to grind harder. Like, that's how I am. So for me, it's very 50-50. Like, yes, be in the present, live in the moment, and like absorb it all and love it and like be about it. But I also like to look at the finish line, like, you know what, how far? Like, be your own critic, but you know, in a good way. Constructive criticism, of course. Look at yourself and really evaluate, like, how far away are you from where you want to be, and are the things that you're doing every single day, are they adding to your cup, or are they taking away from your cup? You need to be adding to your cup, and that for a long time is something that I was not doing. I would add and then take away, and then add, take away some more, and so my cup was never full. And so starting to do all these things has really, really helped me. I also am really big on celebrating every single bit of progress or achievement that you make on whatever journey you're on. If it's losing the 5 pounds, if it's getting a raise, if it's finishing an assignment, you should be proud of yourself. Make sure you tell yourself, like, good job today. Like, you did a good job. You had a lot to do today and you got it done, and I'm super proud of you. Positive self-talk has literally changed my life. Like, the way that we talk to ourselves is so freaking important, and I feel like a lot of us don't even know that we're doing it negatively until you really call yourself out on it, and you're like, damn, I really just told myself something that I should have never said. And also, not to be so hard on yourself, and breaks are not bad, okay? Again, I used to be the girl that was like, never take a break, you always go hard, and you always do this and always do that. And then I'm like, no, honey, you need a break. You need your mind to be cleared. You need to cleanse. You need to relax, so that the next day you can be even a better version than you were the day before, because you're ready, you're pumped, you're relaxed, you're ready to go. And I feel like we're all our own worst enemy when it comes to not being so hard on yourself, because we know what we're capable of. And so when we let ourselves down, we make it known. We tell ourselves that we let ourselves down, and we are not nice to ourselves. And so when I started to work on that and say, you know what, Nicole, you are literally a human. You are going to make mistakes. You are going to fail. But what you do with your failure is what makes you a better person. I don't know the exact quote, but there's like a quote out there that's like, life is 1% about what happens to you and 99% like how you react to it, or something along the lines of that. And that to me just is so true. Like, bad things can happen, good things can happen, but it's really what you make out of it. And that's what makes life so amazing. Like, I have this different appreciation for life now as I'm a little bit older, and I just view myself differently, and I view the people in my life differently, and I'm more picky about who's in my life and what I pour my energy into, and all these things that I'm just like, I'm genuinely thankful and genuinely happy for where I'm at right now. And I hope that, you know, everybody listening to this is either working on getting there, is about to start to work on getting there, or you're already there, because it's an amazing feeling once you iron out your life a little bit and you're like, okay, like, this is me. Like, stick to being true to yourself, because I have been the person that has tried to fit in. I have been the person that goes with the trends, and it's not me. And I wasn't happy, and I was forcing it, and it's not how life's supposed to go. There's only room for one of you. So be yourself and love yourself without limits. And the biggest thing, actually, that I just so recently have been told by someone that I am really, really influenced by, she said that, you know, checking in on each other and stuff is of course important in order to, like, you know, make sure our friends and family are okay and we're all, you know, in this together. And she said, but it's always the people that are the ones checking in on people. They're the ones that are not being checked on. Does that make sense? So in a way, like, say if I'm always checking in on somebody, you know, like, hey, you know, how you doing? I miss you, this and that. Like, is anybody checking in on you? And if you're that person that's always checking in on people, like, I hope that you have someone to check in on you, because at the end of the day, like, my friends and family are my backbone. Like, when I have a problem, when I feel down, when I have fun, like, it's always with them. And so I know that they would always have my back and that they would always be there for me, and I would do the same for them. But I have also learned the hard way, because I have, you know, I've overstretched myself and gone, you know, the extra mile for certain people in my life, and they don't do the same. And so that's like a huge lesson. And I hope that you guys can learn from my mistakes and never do that. Really realize where you're at with people in your life, because that helps your mental health so freaking much. Like, after I took out all the toxic people in my life and all the other toxins that were in my life, I was like, wow, like, I'm really happy. Like, I don't have anything to worry about that doesn't pertain to me and my, you know, really close friend group and family. And that is where I got, like, that's how I got here. Like, it really starts with you evaluating your own life, loving yourself, and staying true to yourself. And with that, guys, I leave you. Thank you so much once again for listening to There's Always More. Don't forget that I do upload every week, normally on Mondays. I'm sorry that I did upload this one on a Tuesday, but you will be back to Mondays on the 22nd. There will be another episode, number 12. And if you don't follow me yet, you should subscribe to my YouTube, which is There's Always More. You should also follow me on Instagram, which is nicolesegoviaa, NicoleSeg as in George, O-V as in Victor, I, and 2 A's at the end. And you guys can see the content that I post there, and just stay up to date to all my podcast stuff and all my health and fitness and my freaking crazy life that I live. Don't we all? And I really appreciate you guys listening, and I cannot wait to see you guys next week. I actually have a little surprise. This podcast is about to level the heck up, and I'm really excited for you guys to see that. So I hope you guys have a great day, and never forget, there is always more to life.